Hey everybody, we're here. We're here. Sorry about the delay. That was all me. That was not Jamont. That was all me. So we apologize about being late. If you are seeing the live and you just got the notification, please make sure that you share, you comment, and you subscribe. I'm going to take a moment and share it on my social media account since it's live now. So there's the people that are probably like, hey, where's it at? Go ahead and jump on. We can see your comments live, so make sure that you're commenting. And again, today's topic is destiny blockers. So go ahead and take it away, Jamont.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Happy about today, the soul session. Just wanted to share with some people some things about not allowing circumstances that you encounter to stop you from progressing to your destiny. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. Good. So this came about because I mean recently I've experienced some events and I've seen some people have to go through some very deep emotional situations. And in those situations, you have to not constantly, but we try to remind them that, this does not define who you are or where God is trying to take you. Because oftentimes that does happen. Like we get into these situations where we run into something and it's a discouragement. It's like, well, what am I here for? Why am I around? And it really was just pulling on my heart, saying, listen, it's not going to define who you are. You can still make it. You can still reach your destiny. You can still be who you were designed to be. You have a purpose here, and there are people still waiting for you to fulfill that. So, I think this soul session sounds, it's going to be really good. And that's my thought process on that. I was told that there was going to be some music, but I'm not sure if there's going to be some music.
There's supposed to be some music, but when I went and read the actual legal documents of our good sis YouTube, you have to submit a form. So I submit the form, and anyone else that would like to have their music played during the soul session, just email it to asktalkelevated.com, and we will add your information to the list and get it approved so that it can play.
And also, if you just want to share it with me personally, because I am a manager, music producer, do a lot of different things. I encourage people who are trying to build their career in music, whether it be writing, because not everybody's actually a singer, not everybody's actually a writer. Some people are performers. Some, they're all different types of artists. So I touch and talk to all of them. So, if you want to get in contact with me, you can actually email me at evo_production07@gmail.com. Or you can just email Jamont Harris@gmail.com. And that's JAMONT, like Lamont, but with a J, Harris@gmail.com. And I'd love to hear your music. I love to, anything that I can do to help push or amplify you to the next level, I'm definitely willing to do. Um, and I'm excited about what's about to occur in my life, and in T's life, and anybody who's watching this today, because like this is not just for us, because this when we talk, sometimes we're encouraging ourselves as well, and I don't think people realize that.
Yeah.
Because it's a push. You're an entrepreneur. You're trying to reach a next level. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody wants to live broke their whole lives. You know what I mean? Like not everybody wants to live paycheck to paycheck. And a lot of us want to be successful, especially minorities. We want to be successful, and it's the opportunity is there for us, but we got to take it. And so, that's what I'm happy about today's soul session. Destiny blockers. That like man, and it can be on so many different levels.
Yeah. So when me and Jamont had a conversation prior to this, and I was like, I feel like we need to do something. We need to talk about something. And Jamont, the spiel that he gave you guys just a second ago, and I was like, oh my God, destiny blockers. Like there are so many things that come in our way to keep us from getting to our purpose. And it's not this is not even on like a spiritual level, but just your regular everyday life. Like if you are going to be a business owner, if you're going to be a teacher, if you're going to be even if you want to do something as simple as be a security guard, there is so many things that stop you from getting to where you need to be or where you're trying to go. And it can start from the people around you to circumstance to all. It's this huge umbrella. And I actually like came up with a list of stuff that I feel like blocks your destiny. And I guess we can just kind of jump right into that list and just kind of, go from there. One of the things that I know that a lot of people deal with from the very, very beginning is when you have a dream. Langston Hughes actually wrote a poem that said, "What happens to a dream deferred?" So I think that the first thing that happens to a lot of people is you get discouraged because it doesn't happen as instantly as you want it to. And that can be something that blocks your destiny. The fact that it's taking a long time for what you're dreaming for, what you're hoping for to manifest. And a lot of times people get tired in the wait and they feel like they start to doubt themselves. They feel like, you know what, it's not going to happen for me. Everybody else is going to have a cattle on the hill. Everybody's going to have the picket fence in the house and stuff like that. And that self-doubt is what will come in and block from manifesting, because you stop going so hard for it. You stop trying to achieve it. You stop trying to push for it. But what you have to do is you have to go back, take a step back, look at your picture, the big picture. What am I trying to achieve? Would I be happy if I did get instantaneous? Or is this something that I need to put blood, sweat, and tears into to achieve success? And once I do that, actually talking myself back off the cliff. Because a lot of times what will happen is that self-doubt comes in and it'll literally make you just take your dreams and throw them off the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, and I know myself personally, I've been in that situation where I'm just so frustrated with the lack of progress that I don't realize the progress that's been made. Like, it'll cause you to forfeit. Okay, well, yesterday I was doing A, B, and C, and I still got to get to Z. So I'm just like, oh, it's just so long. It's just taking so long. This process is so hard. I've been in this process forever. But you don't realize you've already accomplished A and B. And a lot of times what happens with folks is they'll be right on the cusp of destiny. Like, they'll be down at X. Ain't nothing but Y and Z left. And at X, they get so frustrated and forget you've done A all the way down to X. And you're frustrated. And it's just this little bitty piece that's got to go for you to actually come over that hurdle and actually bust into what God has for you. So I think that a lot of times that's the biggest thing that affects a lot of people is self-doubt, not believing in ourselves. What do you think, Jamont?
I think that's true, but it's even more amplified when you involve other people in your dream, and so their self-doubt starts to inflict on you, and so your self-doubt plus their self-doubt, it makes it impossible for you to see that you're almost at the finish line. You get discouraged. We know you were talking about that, getting discouraged and things like that, but you got to fight on. You have to, if you're not willing to fight for it, was it really your dream?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then that it doesn't become self-doubt at that point. It becomes self-check. I need to check myself to make sure this is what I really wanted, because I've never seen anybody who was successful not have to go through self-doubt but still push through it. You have to reanalyze what you want. It's got to be, and that's important, because if you don't do a self-analyzation, okay, is this what's really at my heart's core, or did I see this? I say this to a lot of people who want to be rappers. Is this your dream, or is it just that you have a gift to do it, so you want to make it your dream? Because not everybody who is skilled in rapping and a lyricist is actually a rapper. Some people are just writers. Some people write for other people to perform. And that's a reality. And that can be your dream. You know how many millionaires there are out there who have just written songs?
There's a lot of money being a lyricist.
And they realized what their dream was. Their dream was to get their words out, but they didn't have to be the ones to do the word part. They wrote it. And so it comes to a point where you have to the self-doubt and the self-infliction and who you have around you, because that's all I've seen that so many times on social media. Oh, God's removing this person or removing these people. It's like, okay, yeah, but are you self-checking also? Are you making sure that the people that you keep on bringing into your circle are for you? Because that when you have somebody telling you that, you know what, is this really something you want to do? That means they really don't know you, or either you're not giving them the vision that God really gave you to do. You know what I mean? So we have to be very careful of these things, because it's vital for us to be successful. I know me personally, I've had to check myself several times on visions and dreams that I wanted, because they weren't really what I seen it and I was like, oh, I could do that. I'm talented enough to do that. And then I had to sit back like, but my heart's not in it. It's not really what I want. So I had to take a step back and I had to reassess. And now I'm doing what I want to do. I'm doing what I enjoy doing. When people show up on time, it's even better.
You know what? Don't come to me.
But I'm just, but I'm doing what I love, like, speaking to people and giving people encouragement and showing them that, you have to start somewhere. There's a starting point. You got to start somewhere. And in starting somewhere, it's going to help you grow. So, what's your next point?
I want to go back to something you said, self-check. And in that self-check, when you said check your circle, it is so vital that when you are fulfilling visions and dreams and talking about destiny, that you check your circle. A lot of times we as people try to carry people that we feel like, oh, well, they've been with me all this time, so I know they're down for the cause, or I know they believe in me. And we try to impart our vision into people who may not have our same vision. And then we get discouraged, back to discouragement, because they don't believe in it the way we believe in it. And it's so important that when you get ready to pursue destiny, that you realize that sometimes your circle for destiny has to change. Sometimes you can't, like, I heard a preacher say, I believe it was John Eckhart, that you can't stay small. And what that means is that your thought process when you're trying to pursue destiny is you can't stay thinking the way you thought and expect things to change. You can't keep, if you want to own a business, you can't keep hanging around people who have no business and expect to become this great business person. No, you need to get people in your circle that are either in the process of opening businesses or actually own businesses and have done this thing. It would probably be better to be in a circle of people who have success in business than it would be in a startup circle.
But also, I was gonna say, also adding to that real quick, you have to be willing to fail in order to succeed. Because you're not always going to get it 100% every time. That's the whole, you were talking about the self-doubt. Yes, you're going to fail. The guy who wrote the thing, was it Rich Man, Poor Man? Mm-hmm. He had so many failing businesses until he found one that worked. And then when he failed again, he started a new one until that one worked. So you have to be willing to fail, and that's why I said don't give up on the end. You know what I mean? That the vision, like you said earlier, the vision is going to change. Put people around you who are going to help you reach that goal, who are successful. But in understanding that there will be a couple of failures, there'll probably be a lot of failures before your success. But that does not determine your destiny. Failure does not determine your destiny at all. Failure is just a stepping stone, a learning. I guess you call it a learning curve to getting to your destiny.
Right. And I think a lot of times people don't realize the success that you can have in the midst of failure. Look at George. He was trying to do one thing and invented over 1,000 uses for a peanut. All while trying to do one thing, he discovered a whole bunch of different things away. So a lot of times it's not necessarily even about what you're your end game. It's about the journey to get to the end game. You never know how many lives you can impact as you proceed to the end game. So we have to be mindful of it. Honestly, and when you think of destiny and what it is you're trying to pursue, you have to really do a self-check. Like you said, am I doing this for selfish reasons? Like, why am I actually doing this? Like, what's the purpose behind it? Am I doing this to make society better? I understand that everybody does everything because, for one, you want to make money, you want to take care of your life, but how does it impact society? Am I doing something that's going to not only be self-fulfilling, but it's something that can actually help the world? And I think that when you come out of yourself and you remember what I'm doing is going to impact kids, adults, countries, nations, generations. When you think about it like from that perspective, you realize that everything is bigger than you. And I think that we as people have become so selfish that we forget that the things that we're doing and the things that we should be pursuing are not just for us. They should be impacting lives. They should be impacting generations of people. And when you remember the bigger picture, this isn't about me. This is about generations. Even if it's just for your own family, this is about generational wealth, not just me getting rich. This is about me making money for my kids, for my kids, kids. So when you think about it from that perspective, that should make you grind even harder. That should make you push even more, because destiny doesn't necessarily have a defined endpoint. Destiny is a continuation of life. So we just have to be mindful of, like you said, self-check. Am I doing this for me, or am I doing this to ensure that a lifestyle is maintained?
Cool. Right. I mean, that's a key point. When we talk about destiny blockers, what you have to realize, the destiny blockers come because they're not just trying to affect you, they're trying to affect others. You know, when there's an attack on your life, the attack's not just for you. The attack's to stop you from being able to show somebody else that they can make it. And we have to be aware of that. You know, be conscious of, it's not, like you were just saying, it's not always about us. There are more people involved in this. I think about Diddy and how he came from nothing. He came from being an intern. He grew into a mogul. And the crazy thing is, people don't think about this. Because of every transition that he has made, he has caused other people to have jobs, have opportunities. I mean, anybody who has worked under Diddy as an intern has been able to run magazines, fashion and clothing design. I mean, he has helped others reach their destiny because he fulfilled his destiny. And it's like we have to be of that mindset that your destiny is not just for you, but it's for others.
Right. And another example, this is a really good one. Take the Wayans family, for example. Henry Wayans was the visionary of their house. He was like, they grew up, it was like 7 or 8 brothers and sisters. And he was like, look, we all funny in the house. Let's make this work. Keenen Ivory Wayans busted into the industry through his connections to other big business names and put his whole family on. Put his whole family on. And not only by putting his whole family on, he has, and there are a lot of brothers and sisters that people didn't even see. He had a brother that was a writer. He had a brother that worked in production, in the filmmaking and stuff like that. And then you had, of course, Sean Marlon, the sister, and then you had the other one was Damon, the brother Damon. So you saw all 5 of them on TV, and that the people connected to them got put on. J-Lo was a backup dancer on In Living Color. And look at what Jennifer Lopez is now, a mogul. And then you have Jim Carrey, a mogul, started on In Living Color as a comedian. You've got Jamie Foxx, started as a comedian. Tommy Davidson started as a comedian. There are so many. It was big. His initial process was to put his family on and create generational wealth for his family. But because he did what he was assigned to do, he was able to bring other people into that picture and bless them so that they could bless others. Now you have people like Jamie Foxx doing things for charities. I mean, who would have thought that because Keenen Ivory Wayans had a vision that Jamie Foxx would end up with an Oscar? You have to think about stuff. Sometimes God will give you an idea so that, not necessarily so that you can obtain fame and fortune, but he'll give you an idea so that somebody else's destiny can be fulfilled.
Cool.
So you have to be
Correct.
mindful of everything that is inside of you has to eventually come out, because you never know who you're holding up in the process by not being you. And I think that's the thing that we have to really remember, that by not being authentically you and doing what you know to do, you could be stopping somebody from reaching their destiny. And who wants to get to the end of their life and know that that's their fault, that somebody else didn't make it where they were supposed to be. Biblical example. Elisha died, was in the grave. A man ends up getting killed by some caravan people. The people get nervous because they see somebody coming. They take the bones. They're like, oh my God, somebody's coming. They take the bones and they throw it. When they throw the bones in the grave, the man comes back to life because he touches Elisha. So that means that there was still power in Elisha's body. What that means is Elisha went to his grave with purpose. You don't want to die with purpose. I mean, in that particular instance, it's a great thing because that man came back to life, but you don't want to die with purpose in your body. When you leave, you want to have left everything on the table. Another example for New Testament people is with the man with the talents. He buried his talent.
Mm-hmm.
When the master came back, he's like, yo, what happened? He was like, I was nervous. I heard you was a hard taskmaster, so I buried it in the ground because I didn't want to do nothing. But here's the talent that you gave me. Everybody else was able to multiply and bring more in. So what the master does is he takes that talent from that person and gives it to the next person. You have to be able to take what God gave you or what's inside of you and mass produce it. If you don't, you are blocking others from achieving their destiny. So again, like Jamont said, that self-check, you got to check yourself for real, because it's like, what am I doing that's blocking me from getting where I need to be, and in turn blocking others from getting where they need to be? I know that we like to say that, I'm independent. This is all me. Only God can judge me, all this kind of stuff, all this selfish type stuff. But at the end of the day, no man is an island. We are all interconnected, and we have to do what we're supposed to do so that everybody can get where they're supposed to get strategically. So,
Cool.
100%. I mean, that's it. You know what I mean? You don't want to be, and something I heard, I've always heard this like my whole life, was the wealthiest place in the world is the graveyard, because so many people have taken. Yeah, huh?
I literally heard somebody say that yesterday.
Yeah,
the
wealthiest place in the world is the graveyard.
Wow, that's sad though.
It's a true statement, but it's a true statement because there's so many people who have had these $1 million ideas and life-saving ideas. Do you know that there's always this possibility that the way that the solving for cancer or AIDS or the swine flu, things like this, that could have been somebody could have came up with the idea, but the moment the first time the test failed, they give up.
Right.
And so now that in itself lets you know that, okay, so we can be our own enemy in this. We are the ones could be, blocking our own destiny, and that's not, that's. I don't want anybody to live with that over their head. That's why I want this session itself. You got to check your soul. You got to check your motives. You got to check, what is it that you're here for? What is it that you're designed to be? Who is waiting on you? Like we want to find, we've talked about relationships and we want to find the right person, but don't you want to also find the right destiny for yourself?
That part.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because barring you never get in a relationship, don't you want to be happy with who you are and where you're going? Don't you want to be happy with the fact that you're able to help somebody who's in need? I would love to be able to be 100% a multimillionaire. Walking down the street, I see somebody that needs a job, clothes, and a home, and be able to provide all of that with no money. They don't have to pay anything out of pocket. I can give them a job that they want to go to. I can help them find their destiny. I can help them, get into a home and let them become successful. And then that way, the next time they see somebody else on the street, they can do the same thing. So you got you building multimillionaires to help other people become multimillionaires. Some people who just want to be wealthy. I just don't want to be poor anymore. Okay, what can I do to help you get there? But I can't get there if I give up on myself. I can't get them there if I give up on myself.
Right.
I cannot be what this world needs me to be if I am not checking myself consistently and if I'm allowing other things, other distractions. And I I love you, but I'm gonna call you out real quick.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, and this is the great thing about having somebody that you are connected to. So I think I lost her, but she'll be back. So in this day and age, like, all right, so me and Tara are trying to build something. It's her vision, and she gave it to me, and I think it's an awesome vision, and we're gonna run with this bad boy, and we're gonna do what we have to do. But I'm somebody who likes to be punctual when it comes to things like this. And so this morning, I was waiting. I called her a couple times, things like that, and we got to 10. It got to right at 10 o'clock, and I'm like, well, where is she at? And because I had the vision, I'm more concerned for her than for myself. I'm like, listen, we got to get on the ball, get on the ball. But there are things that will come, elements that will come. All right, I'll pause.
Lord, I tell you, anybody know of good internet in the South? Because anybody know of good internet in the South? Because AT&T is fired. 5 years.
All right. So what was the last thing that you heard?
T, I love you, but I got a something.
All right. So I love you, but we have a type of relationship where we can pick on each other, but at the same time, it's definitely for a good example. All right. So Tara has this vision, right? She gave me this vision of Talk Elevated. And I was like, oh, this is dope. It's something I've always wanted to be a part of. I'm willing to run with it. So, she gave me the vision. I took the vision. We're running with it. Like, boom, let's do this thing. I think that it's awesome. I think it's needed for our generation, right?
Here we go.
All right. So there are days like today where even though that person's vision is their vision, you get frustrated because you know what the vision is for, right? So I called her at 9:35, no answer. All right, because we had talked about meeting at 9:30 to go over a few things before we hit the show, whatever. Okay, so I called her at 9:35, no answer. So I just sat and waited. Okay, so now I called her again like 9:50 something just to see what's going on. You okay? Maybe she's asleep. It's Saturday morning. She had a late night. She had work, but whatever. So all right, so no answer. So I'm sitting here. I'm like, okay, all right. It hits 10 o'clock. I'm fuming, right? I'm upset. I'm mad. And now, listen, let me tell you why I'm mad. Because I've grabbed onto the vision that she has. And so I'm like, okay, you got people waiting on you. It's 10 o'clock. We late. Like, come on, let's go. So then I call her at 10:02.
It was 10:01.
It's 10:01. It was 10:01. Yeah, sorry, it's 10:01. So I call her at 10:01. I'm like, yo, what's going on? And she was like, I got distracted by my family. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I'm still upset. And the reason why I'm upset is because
you're still mad?
No, not now. I'm saying I was upset at that point. And I'm like, we late. You allowed something to distract you from us getting to where we needed to be at the time we needed to be there.
That's true.
And this is just a small example of how even the little things in life, because we don't know how many people from 10 o'clock until we got on at 10:07 or 10:08 were waiting on us.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And so in my mind, I'm like, okay, that can be and even though it's a little bit of time, you can't get that time back.
That's true.
And so, and like, that's what I said, I love you. I'm saying, but this is how it should be in any type of relationship you have, whether business or personal. If you have a vision and you grab it onto the vision and your partner's grabbing, they should be upset with you if you're not moving forward. They should be pushing you so that you get forward, because if they grabbed onto your vision, that means that vision is theirs also. And so that's what I want people to understand and see, is that our desire is for us to all be accountable to one another and to grab hold of the vision and move forward with it, because other people will be waiting on you. And like I said, 7 minutes does not seem long, but have you ever needed to get off work and you had 7 minutes left? It felt like an hour because you had something else you needed to get to, or somewhere else you wanted to go, because not all of us work in a job where we're fulfilling our destiny. Some people are, but those who aren't, you're ready to get out. When it's time to go, it's time to go.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying? So
packing up at 10 till.
Exactly. So we have to be aware that our destiny is important, not just for ourselves, but others. And time is a key thing. We don't want to give up too early. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want to not be consistent either. That's another thing. And us as entrepreneurs, we have that problem. We get this great vision, and for the first week, we on point. We doing emails, we calling people, we researching, we doing all this stuff, and we're like, this is gonna be good, this is gonna be good, this is gonna be good. And then let somebody call you and be like, hey, yo, you want to go grab dinner? And then you go get dinner, and the next thing you know, your whole focus has changed. You like, or let it be the gym. You can hit the gym every day, and then let one thing happen. Oh, my leg hurts. Oh, you got all these excuses, but you was a pound away from your goal, and you gave up, and now you're 4 pounds away from your goal.
10 pounds.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it increases, and then because of that one decision you made, the one time you decided, I can go tomorrow, or I can do this tomorrow, or let me contact that person tomorrow, can be the date. That time is going to be a time when you're going to miss out on what your destiny was designed to be. And you talked about Langston Hughes, and Langston Hughes is probably my favorite poet of all time. Him and Zora Neale Hurston, they neck and neck. But the story behind Langston Hughes is he wrote poetry on the back of napkins while he was a busboy on a train. That's how he got discovered. He worked, he did what he's supposed to do, but he never gave up on the vision he had of being a writer. And he took every opportunity that came to him to write. So he wrote on the back of a napkin and left it on the table, and a publisher picked it up and was like, oh my goodness, and he went and found Langston and signed him, and that's how his career started. But that's how his official career started. His career started when he first started writing his first sentence.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we don't think that way. We think, okay, it's got to be now. I got it. It's good. No. Mm-mm. It takes time. It's a process. But don't give up on who you are. Don't give up on whose you are. And don't give up on the fact that you can make it.
Amen. I'll take my rebuke, because that rebuke came from heaven. I heard between the lines. So, what was I gonna say? Had something to do with, okay. So going back to a point you made about Hughes doing what he was supposed to be doing before he got discovered. Another biblical example. If you think about the story of Naomi and Ruth and Boaz, I know everybody uses that story to talk about finding a mate, but I get that's so played out. Get a new revelation about the story of Boaz. please. Okay. So when you think about it, though, Ruth was in the field working before, and that's how Boaz discovered her, because he was working. We have to be so involved in the work that the success happens when we're not paying attention.
Correct.
And I think that's kind of like the bigger story in that whole Ruth and Boaz. She was so busy working that success overtook her. And anything happened, you had to be so busy putting the pieces of the puzzle together that when you blow up, I've known a lot of people, if you look at, if you ever watched the movie Selena, I love the movie Selena. They were so busy working, they didn't even know they had a #1 hit. They went to go get some food from like one of those drive-ins, one of those diners and dives, and the song was playing. And when the radio went off, it was like, that's Selena Elos, and that's #1 on the Latin charts. And the sister's like, yo, we #1. And the whole family, you know, of course, they go crazy and they're excited because they have a #1 on the radio. But they were so busy working, they weren't looking for the success. They were looking for the fulfillment of the work. They were producing fulfillment.
And they did what was true to them.
Right.
They started out doing, like, the father, he was into bop music at the time, and quartet. He stuck to what he knew and he loved. And as they continued to do that, it developed into something else. And that's, you got to be true to you. I love that example. You have to be true to you, because if you're not true to yourself and you try to adopt, you could work all you want. Let's be honest. But if it's not your vision and it's not what you want to do, you're gonna get frustrated, and that discovery will never come, because nobody's gonna see your heart in it.
Right. And it kind of goes back to something you said earlier on. If you can walk away from it, then it really ain't yours. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. But if it you in the nighttime, if it's something that you're just like, oh, I've got to do this, and it frustrates you not doing it, then that's probably something that's attached to your destiny. A lot of times, you know, growing up, people would tell you be like, and I think that a lot of times as parents, I'm not a parent, but as a parent, people do a disservice to their children by telling them you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer. Or if they're like, or if the child comes to them and says, I want to be an astronaut, or I want to be the president. Okay. And a lot of times, you know, especially in the Black community, boy, you're going to be no president. He never said what he was going to be the president of. Or if he says he's going to be the president of the United States, you never know. God may have given him that vision. And if you cultivate it, he may not work as president of the United States. He may be president of Xerox. He may be president of Barnes and Noble. He may be president of his own corporation. Exactly. So you have to stop killing dreams. Stop killing people's dreams.
Okay. All right, so let's touch this. So yes, we do not want to kill other people's dreams, but we do want to be realist at the same time. Let's establish that. Let me say why.
Listen, but who decides what's real for me and what's not?
Okay. All right, because we're gonna go into some. We're gonna borderline hit ethical things real quick. Okay. And also racial things. So in the Black community, how many? All right, so there's a show that Killer Mike has on Netflix, and the thing that I realized from the show, because the first episode, I would definitely recommend everybody watching it because it's talking about Black ownership. Are you good on your end? You flickering?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm flickering.
All right. So
I can hear you.
All right. So this is my thing. In the Black community, yes, we want to encourage our kids to be the best that they can be, but we want to give them realistic goals. Because in a world that as current state that it is in, and the amount of racism and bigotry that is going on, it is going to be, it's very difficult for a child at 7 or 8 right now to tell them, yes, you will be the next president of the United States. Because
it's difficult, it's not impossible.
Listen, I'm not saying that it's impossible. Hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying. The reason why I'm saying this is because they have to understand that there are steps to getting to that position, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Barack Obama, who was a very good president, we don't. I didn't agree with everything that he did, but I did enjoy him as a president because I felt like us as Americans came together a lot better. Okay, but he had to go through a process to get there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of our kids now are so instant gratification that they will have a hard time reaching that goal of presidency because we've become like I think we talked about this, a microwave society.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to be realistic with them and let them know that if you continue with this mentality that you have and this routine doesn't change, then you won't reach that goal. So let's be realistic in what you really want. Do you want it because everybody's saying that we need another black president? Do you want it because you want, because it's really what your heart desires? It goes back to the vision thing. And I want us to be realistic with our kids. My daughter is a great clarinet player. I mean, she's first chair, very talented. But if her books ain't right, she's not going to go as far as she wants to go. And that's where we're failing as a society. We're not being honest with our kids and saying, hey, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, you're never going to get there. We just say, oh, yeah, you got it, Johnny. Go for it. And never really give them the real steps that it takes to reach their purpose.
But that's part of parenting. Like
that's a part of society. I'm not talking about the parenting portion, because parenting, that is something you do in the home. But a lot of the teachers, they don't teach the kids, okay, you can be a multimillionaire and be a plumber.
I agree. I mean, what I'm saying to you is this. I'm not even speaking from a wealth perspective. What I'm saying is that when a child comes to a dream, a lot of times when folks be like, in our community, and I have seen this, is like, go somewhere and sit down. But my thing is this, like, if that child, I'm going to stick with this president one. I want to be the president. Okay, do you know what it takes to be a president? What I'm saying is, if your comes to you with a vision, and that vision may change 6 or 7 times because they're kids, but if they come with you with a vision, don't stop the vision. Don't just belittle the vision. Get them what they need to know. White people do this all the time, and I hate to yell it like that, white people, but white people do that all the time with their kids. If little Jimmy says, I want to be a stockbroker like daddy, what does daddy do? Daddy starts to bring little Jimmy around so little Jimmy can see what he does for a living. And then little Jimmy realizes, I ain't for all them numbers and stuff. And then little Jimmy finds something else that little Jimmy likes. But they don't mind immersing their children into the culture so that they can learn what they need. And that's what I'm saying. Your kids' dream, immerse them in the culture that they think they want to be a part of. And if they decide that's not for them, move them to something else. We don't do
that, though. But why don't we do that?
I don't have kids.
No, but why don't we do, as society, why don't we do that with our kids?
Honestly, if I were to, it's because I think that nobody did it for us, so we don't know how to do it.
Exactly.
This goes back to this, and this is why I'm definitely talking to Black entrepreneurs right now. We have to make a change in our thought process because history itself has not been in our favor. And so a lot of us can't, if my child wants to be a stockbroker, the only thing I can do is buy him a book. And that book might teach him, but I cannot explain it to him because I was never put in that situation. I didn't have the opportunity to be in that environment. I'm talking about us as Blacks.
Mm-hmm.
or minorities, or the global majority, actually, the global majority. So for us, we don't have that. We have not been taught that. We have not had the skills and training. So when our kids get these dreams, the reason why we're being more realistic with them is because that's the reality that we had to live with. And so it's not much as a destiny blocker or a dream killer. It's a lack of knowledge. You know, the word says, "My people are destroyed by lack of knowledge." We don't have an understanding of what it takes to get to the next level, and that's why so many people are stopping. When you say get all the way, what's the last letter in the alphabet?
Z.
No, I'm saying it like we don't know what the last letter is because we've never gone that far.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We stop before everybody we known has stopped before they get to Z. So we have no idea what Z looks like. We don't know what, characteristics it has.
Or would you love to see Z?
Oh, I will. Listen, I will see Z. I know I will see Z.
I'm gonna see Z.
I'm gonna see Z. I'm gonna reach that destiny. Why? Because I understand now, and that this is for me. I'm doing what I'm designed to do. And people can tell you all the time. And this is another thing I was going to say, as we're getting into that more serious conversation is people can tell you all the time that you're going to be X, Y, and Z. We believe in the prophecy and prophetic as well. And you can have somebody prophesy into your life and tell you what you're going to do. But until you grab hold of that thing yourself, and you grab an understanding of yourself, they can tell you all day long, there's $1 million sitting in the bank right now with your name on it. God said, all you got to do is walk into the bank, give them your name, and they will hand you $1 million. And we got to grab it ourselves and say, oh, you want me to walk into a bank that I don't even know and go get something that I'm not 100% sure is there? Right. But it's there. It's there. It's waiting on you. Or if somebody said, it doesn't even have to be $1 million. If you are down to your last $5 and somebody says, hey, Jay, I was just talking to so-and-so and they said that they had left you $1,000 in their will. And, and their grandmother left you $1,000 in their will and you just need to go pick it up. We ain't going to run after that money because we're like, oh, I think you lying to me. This can't be real. Ain't nobody gonna just. So that's because your understanding is different than most. Your thought process is different than most. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it is. Like we are pre-programmed. Ooh, we are pre-programmed for somebody else's destiny, and not for our own.
Woo!
That's the sad part.
So sad. But you're so right. Like, it's so sad. Like, oh my God. You are so right. When you think about that, that's such a heavy statement. And I'm not exaggerating with my shockness. It really is such a true statement. Because when you think about it, nobody tells you grow up, start your own business. They tell you grow up, go to college, get a job. When you do that formula, that is you literally fulfilling somebody else's destiny. Because I'm going in debt with student loans, or if I'm brilliant and I have scholarship, I'm going to school, I'm spending 4 years in an institution for them to program me how they would like me to think. And then I go work for somebody, most of the time in a corporation where the leader doesn't even have a degree. But you have a degree to work for somebody who was smart enough to not be programmed to have a vision.
Yeah.
So you're fulfilling the destiny of somebody else. I'm so mad I got to go to work today because I'm fulfilling the destiny of somebody else instead of fulfilling my own. But we all have that moment. We're all in that moment pretty much as a society where we're living out pre-programmed stuff that's really blocking our own destiny. Because you are stuck in the ritual of what you were pre-programmed to do. But somebody at some point in time has to either be awakened or somebody has to show you a different way. Hey, you don't have to do was pre-programmed for you to do. You don't have to follow this program. One of the things they used to put on church programs back in the day, at the bottom was this little, it was an asterisk, a program subject to change with the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
It used to tickle me back then because I used to be like Jesus just gonna show up and say, "Excuse me, I don't want you to sing that solo. I'm just gonna come up here and disrupt the place." But when you think about it, that really should be how it should be in everyday life. These systems that we are a part of that will continue to be a part of this cycle if somebody doesn't come in and just disrupt the place.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we are in a phase of life, and we're in a season where people are starting to realize this is a program that I don't have to follow. Let me get in here and disrupt this program and do it the way that I really want to do it.
We can all become young Neos.
Become young who?
Neo from the Matrix.
Yeah.
He was plugged in, programmed, and then somebody came in and said, no, and he had questions about the programming that was going on. And then somebody came in and gave him insight to it. It took him a little while to grab onto it and get a full understanding of it, because sometimes when you've been pre-programmed for so long, it takes a little while to get through all the madness and chaos that was put in your mind that you have to do it this way. You have to do this way. I have to be right-handed. No, but I'm a ball player. So I'm naturally right-handed. But when I learned how to use my left, I was able to change how my game was played. I became more of a threat. I became more efficient. I didn't have to worry about, just using one hand and somebody predicting what I'm going to do next.
Right, because people who are left-handed are harder to guard.
Exactly, because you have no idea, especially if they learn how to use their right, then they become so efficient that when you're programmed to always jump to the right hand. But when they're left-handed, you have to jump to the left. So you have to reprogram yourself in the middle of a game to say, oh, this man's left-handed. Oh, shoot. I got to push him to his weak side. But that's the crazy thing. If you practice something long enough, there are no weak sides.
Yeah.
And so now you're working on your destiny, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to reach the goal. Every time I come down the court, I'm going to go right or I'm going to go left. It doesn't matter which way I go. I'm hitting my destiny because I've come to the awakening that I can do whatever I want to do. I'm no longer have to be programmed by just the mere basics and minimals. I can be extraordinary.
Yeah. So dope.
It's dope. It's great. I want people to grab onto this, man.
Right.
Listen, we trying to feed the soul, the mind, and the body. We want everything to be 100%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We want everybody to grow. We want people to, because wouldn't this world be so much better if our generation just took over? I mean, let's be 100.
I think that our generation has the tools to actually to bring major change to this world. We just have, because our generation is we're not like our grandparents or our great grandparents, where we just take what's given. We got questions, and our questions need answers. And if you won't supply me the answers, I'll go get them myself. That is the mentality that every destiny fulfiller has. I have questions, they need answers, and if you won't supply them, I will. And yeah, that was so good. And that was just our first point. That was just the first point. You got any more about the first one, or you want to move to the next
Go
one?
ahead, because I know you got to go to work soon.
Yeah, so we got like 20 minutes left in our Talk Elevated conversation for today. This soul session is doing something for the soul. Doing something for the soul.
It's doing something for the soul.
We talked about, well, actually we hit two. Okay. Actually, let's upon point number one. This is what we need to discuss. What about we talked about self-doubt and unbelief and self-checking, and we talked about making sure that you have a team around your vision and making sure that the people around you are connected. But let's be devil's advocate for just a second. What do you do when you can't readily identify your team? What do you do when the people around you give false support? Yeah, we with you, but never show up, never do anything that pushes you. What do you do, or what would you say to a person who's in that situation where they are pushing their vision, but they have not run into the people that are supposed to come alongside them, like Aaron and Joshua, to help them push on into destiny? What would your advice be for that person?
Keep pushing.
I mean, it sounds like it's so simple. Like, keep going, keep driving. You got it. Keep grinding, right? Reality is that if you don't have anybody in your corner, it does make it more difficult. But it's not impossible. It's not. So I say keep pushing, keep driving. Know who you are. Do your own vision boards. Do your own encouragement. You know, I think of it like this. You seen the movie Castaway, right? With Tom Hanks. And he's stuck on this island.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going crazy. He finally, gets Wilson. But Wilson's not a real person.
Yeah.
Wilson's not somebody that really talks to him. He's having to have these conversations with himself to make sure that he continues to drive forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so he had to have a vision. He had his own vision. I need to get home. I need to get back to what I know. And he pushed himself without having a team around him. He built his own raft. He was unsuccessful with his own raft. He had to learn. He had to learn about wind. He had to learn about things that he was not equipped with. But he had a vision. I'm not going to die on this island. I'm not going to die without fulfilling my destiny. I have people that are relying on me and are waiting on me that I need to get back home to. And that is the important part. That's why I say you keep on pushing. Because even when nobody's in your corner, you can be in your own corner. And you can push and you can drive. And when they're giving you false information, let's be honest, it's false. You know what I mean? You know when somebody really rides for you or not. Like the artists that I work with know that I ride with them. Why? Because anytime they do something, when I'm available, I will be there. If I got to move my schedule around, I'll be there. I try as hard as I can. Like, I don't give excuses. I mean, if life happens, life happens. We have to understand that. But I drive for them. If you go check on my Instagram page right now, one of the artists that she's probably one of the dopest Christian hip hop MCs I've ever come across. Like, lyrically, and her walk is amazing. Like, she's a prime example of what somebody you want to work with, because she's driven by herself. She pushes. And so my job is, when she does something, I advertise for her. I push for her. That's what you'll see, the results of somebody who really does have your back. So, if you can't get rid of them, use them. Use them to the best of your ability. Use every negative thing that they say, every time they don't show up on time. Just use that as motivation.
Okay, Jamont. Okay.
No. Listen, I'm not throwing shade this time.
I know.
But like, if you know somebody's not going to be on time, that should just be your motivation to keep on driving, because the person that you need will be at the next event on time. Say, hey, what can I do for you? I'm here. Okay, boom, I need X, Y, and Z. And that person who you probably never met because you decided to still drive forward and push forward and be who you are will be the one person that helps you get to the next level. So you got to keep on pushing, keep on striving, keep on driving, because I'm telling you, that's if you don't do it, nobody else will.
That's a whole fact. To kind of roll back to something you said earlier in the statement about encouraging your own self, you have to. It is necessary that you that, and I would recommend this for any entrepreneur, that you take time throughout your day at some point and do some self healing. And what I mean by self healing is like sit there, study your vision that you've written out, because until it hits paper, it is just a dream. You have got to write it out. You can't hold it in your head and say, oh, I'm gonna do this, 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 and this. No, you literally have to put that thing to paper or put it on a laptop, on an Excel, or put it on Word. You have to put that vision, write it out. And you look at your vision and you speak to your vision. If your team manifests it, you can call your team into manifestation. And what I mean by that is just simply, okay, I want 3 to 5 people that support my dream and vision. I haven't met them yet, but I believe they're coming. And you just continue to do these different affirmations to yourself, because I'm a firm believer in speaking over yourself. You got to speak over yourself. You got to speak to your vision, because honestly, if you're waiting on other people to encourage you, a lot of times people are too caught up in their own stuff to be worried about anybody else. And then you have to make sure that you guard your heart. This is one of like my pastor, she uses that scripture for everything. And she always says, guard your heart. And she'll say, and her other phrase is, it's not his kingdom. And you really have to think of, like, when you think about that thing, guarding your heart, you have to guard your heart, because it's so easy for offense to just come in when you see other people not supporting the way you do. And while you're sitting being, petty or being snappy because this person won't support you, just ignore 10 other people that may have wanted to support you, but because of the attitude that you present, they like, oh no, I'm not. You see how she act, or you see how he acting? They seem angry. I'm gonna go do business elsewhere. We have to make sure that our mind is focused on what we are trying to accomplish, and trust and speak it into the atmosphere that whoever God has strategically designed to come alongside you will be alongside you. You have to be mindful of that. You have to think of that and not be so necessarily focused. And I know for me personally, I can speak for myself. When I initially started out, my thought was, and I would see this happen so often, I would see where it was so easy for people to rally behind other people's vision, but it's difficult for them to rally behind mine. And then I finally got a revelation, and I'm just going to tell you the truth. This revelation happened yesterday. I finally got the revelation that because of what my assignment, everybody cannot be connected. Everyone can't be connected to you. There are certain walks in life, and there are certain things that certain people have to do in their life that cannot have a bunch of people, because the weight that they carry and the weight of the assignment, if too many hands are in it, it'll contaminate it. If too many people are attached to it, it'll destroy it. You can't have people that are not like-minded helping you with your assignment, because some people will do it for the glitz and the glamour and the potential fame. And if they're doing it for that, their intent is wrong, which means that they cross-contaminate what you're doing. And if you have something from God, and I'm not trying to make it seem like what I'm doing is so big and what everybody else is doing is so small, but when you have a kingdom mandate, it supersedes simple mandates. And sometimes you have to be, as we call the show, talk elevated. Your level of talking, your level of thinking, your level of life has to be elevated. And it has to be close-minded, has to be closer. You can't have everybody in the group. It has to be like, sometimes you have to do this thing, like I said, by yourself. And as you're doing it by yourself, you may run into people that can help you out. And who's to say that those people that are going to help you out are supposed to be there the duration of the cycle? Some people come into your life to help you with a particular section of life, and then you have to release them back to do what they're supposed to do. Yeah. Everybody, like when you're walking, like we said, from A to Z, because we're going to see Z. That's going to be a shirt. We're going to see Z. But when you're walking from A to Z, you may have 10 people with you at A. And then when you get down to E, you may have 7 people with you. When you get down to A, you may have 5 people with you. You get down to T, you may have 3 people with you, and you may be standing by yourself. But all on the way are not any less important, but they played their role when it was time. And that's another thing too, that's a destiny blocker. Holding people in positions too long. When a season is up, let those people go. Send them your love. It's no love lost, but they cannot go to this next level with you. They can't go to this next letter with you, because dragging them to could either contaminate that letter or stop you from progressing to the next one. So we have to learn that not everybody can go with you the whole way. Some people are seasonal, and it's okay.
I was hearing when you said that, I'm my best day one. You know, everybody wants that day one. We've been day ones. You're your best day one. Because even in the beginning, it's just you. And in the end, even if people are riding with you, you were the only person that was riding with yourself the whole time. You are your best day one. And also, just to go back, something that you said that really reminded me of some things. You have to keep blockers on.
Oh my gosh! Yes,
you got to keep blockers on. Right? Just like with horses, when they run a race, you got to keep blockers on. Why? Because what other people are doing is great. I get it. I love it. But not everybody's doing it the right way. So when you may see so-and-so get signed to a label, or so-and-so get a publishing rights, or so-and-so, how many times have you heard stories of people getting signed by a record label and never writing a record, or never seeing any money, or it looks good, it does, and it can cause you to be jealous. Like, yo, I'm over here grinding, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, but if you got your blinders on, and your vision is what's in front of you, you ain't got to worry about nobody else. All you see is your A to Z. That's all you see.
Oh my gosh. I just quickened in the spirit, because I literally yesterday was like, okay, I got to put blinders on. I literally said this last night. I was like, I've got to put blinders on, because I can't be distracted by what's going on to the left and to the right. I need laser focus for where I'm going. And I cannot afford, the people behind me cannot afford for me not to have laser focus. This is one of those times where you got to have tunnel vision. You can't afford to look to the left and to the right, because while you watching what they doing, stuff is passing you by. You missing what you're supposed to be seeing. So, oh my God, you hit it dead on the head. You got to put blinders on.
You got to stop rubbernecking. The reason why accidents happen on the road is because somebody else was looking to see what the other accident was on the right. And they caused the accident in front of them. I'm telling you,
right?
You have to. You got it. It's vital to you living. It's keeping those blinders on. Basketball taught me so much. There are these goggles that you put on, right? When you're trying to teach a young kid how to dribble without looking at the ball, because it's so important to be able to move and take the ball with you without looking down. Right. So there's these goggles that you put on, and it blocks everything, all your vision from the nose down. So you can't see jack. You have to know where the ball is. You have to know where you're going. And it trains you to keep the vision forward, so I can look and see, okay, I got a pass here, I got a shot here, what's going on? And I still am containing the thing that's going to get me to my destiny, to win the game. The ball is in my hand. And we have to have those kind of blockers. Wow. It's important, man. And that's a destiny blocker. If you're worrying about what everybody else is doing, Well, Tina and them over there doing so good, but you have no idea what Tina's doing to be good. Maybe she's cheating. Maybe she stole some information from somebody else. Waterboy. Maybe have you seen the movie Waterboy? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Me, what?
Maybe somebody stole the other person's playbook, and that's why they're so efficient because they stole something from somebody years ago and they've used it to grow themselves. But then you
What?
find that one thing, you find that one person
Mm-hmm.
that is willing to encourage you to get back into there and write again. And now it's your turn to take off. And everything that they stole and they robbed will start to fade away.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought up Waterboy because that scene with Mr. Coach Klein and Bobby Boucher, where he was like, let's write some new. The enemy will have you thinking that they stole my idea and will have you in a place of defeat because you like, oh my God, they stole my idea. Now what? But here's the thing, if you're truly the one who birthed it, if it's really the vision that God has given you, somebody may try and duplicate it, but they will only have a measure of success because the ingenuity, the originality was given to you. You have the ability to recreate and do something different with it that they cannot do because it was not their original vision. So that's how you can be successful in a market that is overly saturated. All you need is to be able to speak into yourself and say, I can do this again. And what happened was with Red Boyu, who stole, we all know he stole the playbook, and he was running plays that was written by Coach Klein years ago. But when Coach Klein thought about that thing and realized that it was greater in him that was in the world and actually opened up a playbook, he started to write stuff that the other team hadn't even thought of or heard of. And you watch the other side literally just crumble and fall because they like, we ain't never seen that. What is this? That ain't nowhere in our playbook. What is they doing over there? You can confuse your enemies, and not necessarily even your enemies, but your competitors. You can confuse your competitors with your ingenuity because it's really your destiny. So for people who are entrepreneurs that are on the line watching this, if you have an idea and somehow or another somebody else goes and tries and do a knockoff of it, or they try and replicate it, it's okay because God has given you, if it's truly your idea, God will give you the ingenuity to creative edge.
Mm-hmm.
It's something you will have a niche. There will be something that you do better than nobody else that will cause people to give you your rights, give you back the customers that you think you may have lost. And it may even be in the customers that you may have lost, may not even be the customers that you need. Maybe you're trying to go to the wrong, maybe for some people, you may be looking for your regular consumer, but maybe God is giving you a corporate idea, or maybe God has given you a government idea, or maybe he's giving you that's supposed to be done overseas in a different nation. You never know. So I just would encourage anybody that has had that Mr. Coach Klein moment where somebody comes in and steals your idea. Remember that your destiny way bigger and better.
Yeah.
You got this. You got this. Don't give up. Don't let other people stop you from reaching your potential. Don't let yourself stop you from reaching your own potential. I mean, if you want to be a writer, start writing. It doesn't even have to look pretty. It doesn't have to look polished. I mean, you know how many different edits people go through? Just
Right.
do what you are designed to do. And when people read it, if they don't like it, maybe that's not for them. That don't mean you need to change who you are or what you write about. I mean, I write poetry all the time. I put posts up. Everybody don't like it, but that don't mean it's for them. The people who like it is for them. They enjoy it. I'm not worried about anybody else. You have to stay doing what you love, what you enjoy, and what's for you. Because if you start to conform, you're gonna get distracted. You're gonna start falling into those destiny blocker avenues and lanes, and boom, you'll be stuck at A all over again.
Right.
You know what I
You're
mean?
stuck at A trying to get to Z.
You don't want that.
And one thing I will say is that although the alphabet goes straight down, life has a way of circling you back until you learn the lesson.
Yeah.
So you can be from A to Z, and you could move from A all the way down to W, But if you allow the wrong thing to distract you, you can go all the way down to W and end right back up at A.
Yeah.
So in our closing, I just want to admonish everyone to stay tuned. This is a really deep conversation, really good conversation. And again, we only hit point 1 and I had like 10. So we will be back here next Saturday. We will be on time. We'll be on time because I will not be distracted. I will not be distracted. So we will be on time at 10 a.m. Destiny Blockers Soul Session, Saturday Soul Sessions. Thank you so much, Jamont. I'm gonna let Jamont wrap us up, but you can follow me on Instagram at The Real T Trust. That's trust as in like a building, not trust as in a bank. So TRUSS. And you can also follow our show, Talk Elevated. Make sure you comment, subscribe, and share this video. And I'm gonna go call AT&T because they gotta do something about this internet. Like I am sick to death of this internet.
Yeah,
Get that right. But I want to encourage everybody, listen, don't give up on your dreams. Write your vision down. Get a dream board. Figure out what you want to do with your life. Don't let anybody else dictate who you are or who you're going to be. This is on you. You know, I'm giving you approval to be an anarchist in your own life.
That's right.
Moving forward. And you can hit me up at Evolution Production or Evo_production07 on Instagram. You can hit my email, jamontharris@gmail.com. I'm going to be activating my Facebook next week, so I will give you that information next week. My sabbatical from Facebook is going to end because this is a bigger work, and I really want to get people involved. I had a very nice Facebook following before I evacuated from Facebook, but
keep your
definitely keep your blockers on, man. And if you have to, definitely on Facebook for sure. Keep my blockers on Facebook because you'll find yourself on Facebook for an hour only trying to check one thing for 5 minutes. So, but no, definitely check us out. I want you to also. I'm advertising right now for 2 of my artists. Check out Priscilla Crandall. Her name is Priscilla Crandall on Instagram. Wild Songbird, beautiful psalmist. I mean, the voice that she has, it definitely changes an atmosphere. Also, check out his image on Instagram at I am his image. She just dropped a new video clip here called "Run It Back." Dope MC. But definitely, like I said, I'm pushing for my people because I want us all to reach our destiny. I don't want anybody to fall short. So that's my accountability role. All right. But check us out. Can't wait to see y'all next Saturday. T, it's been a pleasure. Don't work too hard today. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my Saturday off.
Whatever.
But I will.
All right, y'all. Everybody. Love y'all. Peace. Love you.